So we can relax. We got our taxes done.
Yes, taxes done, thank goodness.
Do you remember when we couldn't even have a conversation about money without having a freak out?
Yes, it is not too far in the distant past for me to remember that quite vividly, in fact.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
And I remember that whenever we would sit down and try and do the accounts together, that I would get sort of super analytical and you would kind of freeze up and be all thumbs.
You basically would be mean.
I would be mean.
Yes, as far as I was concerned.
How would I be mean?
You went into this sort of Dickensian schoolmarm mode and got very dictatorial and, dare I say, impatient with me, and I didn't like it.
Do you have examples?
What, you want me to reenact that particular scenario?
I'd just like to see what your reality was like, because mine was different.
No, I think I was just very... I've never been mathematically minded, and it was definitely a sore point for me, my ineptitude around all things math. And so I was already coming to the table and feeling particularly insecure. And then when you went into what I considered your school mum mode, I was all ready for a fight.
Well, I think what I realized is that when I was in that mode of being critical or impatient, is that what you said?
Yes.
That I was obviously stressed out too. And it's amazing how we can all have different ways of trying to cope or deal with stress. And mine is to get sort of stern and uptight. And yours is, I think, to bury your head in the sand.
Maybe. Well, I think also the accounts is a classic example of how I used to be blaming my outside world and how I would feel inside, because I would come to the table, as it were, and be fully expecting you to be me, because that's kind of how I created a narrative around the accounts at that point. And so I would get really mad that you were... Well, I would actually blame you for how I was feeling inside. There's no two ways about it. You were making my life miserable, and your attitude and your school momish behavior was ruining my life. And now I see how ridiculous that is. And we can do the accounts, and I might still have a few remnants of that way of thinking, but I don't take it seriously anymore. That's been a big shift for me.
I think that's the that's the biggest shift, is that you don't take it personally when I'm out of balance, even if I'm behaving badly sometimes, dare I say. And I think I've also got better at not taking your behavior when you're upset, taking that personally, and just seeing that you're out of balance in that moment, and that you will stabilize, and you seem to know that I will stabilize. And it seems that things get done on a practical level so much more easily with that.
Yeah, and I guess I'm looking forward to the day, or maybe a more elevated stage of development where I can actually have a good chuckle at seeing, not that I wouldn't be empathic about
you can be laughing at me
about you being out of balance, but there is, if I reflect on it, something kind of amusing about you reenacting this sort of school mom approach. Thinking about it is kind of amusing. So yes, that's why we're having a celebratory glass of wine.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Happy taxes.
Happy
Hope you
taxes.
all get them in.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Happy
Take
weekend,
care.
everyone.
Bye.